So welcome back. Now I'm going to teach you the different stages in reproduction. So there are three phases. Number one is your juvenile. This is the growing period where an organism takes births and they start growing. Second is reproductive phase. Reproductive. Here organism starts developing their reproductive organs, okay, both male and female. So many changes takes place in them. What are those changes? We will learn, okay, we will discuss this. Number third is your senescence. So senescence is a stage where living organisms, they stop reproducing it. The reproductive stage, it stops. All right, they lose their capability of reproducing. So ultimately you can say that they start growing old, right, and at the end they die. So this is the final stage for an organisms. All right, and this juvenile phase is called as vegetative phase in plants. Okay, juvenile in animals and vegetative phase in plants. All right, so this is clear to you. Now let's start. What is reproductive phase? So first let us start with reproductive phase in plants, and then okay, let us see what is there in reproductive phase of plant. So plants, they are divided into two, okay, monocarpic plant and polycarpic plant. So what we get to see in plants is that some plants, they bear fruits or flowers whole year, and some of them, they just bear it once in their life and then they dies. Okay, so those plants which bear fruit or flower, or you can say when they reproduce only once in their entire life, and after reproducing they dies, okay, those organisms are called your monocarpic plant. So examples, some of the examples are bamboo plant. In bamboo plants, what happen, they bear fruits and flower only once in their entire life, in a life of 40 to 50 years. Okay, they just bear it once and then they dies. So they are monocarpic plant. Then rice, wheat, carrot, maize, so they bear fruits only once and then they dies. So they are called your monocarpic. Second is your polycarpic. In polycarpic, what happened? Plants, those plants which reproduce throughout the year, and it could be perennial or it could be seasonal. Perennial is like which keeps on reproducing whole year, which bear fruits. Okay, in 12 months they will bear fruits or flower. Okay, and seasonal are those which bear fruits or flower only in season. It may be in summer or it may be in winter season, like mango. Mango, it produce or it bear fruits only once in a year, isn't it? Only in some seasons. Even orange is seasonal, we get it in winter, isn't it? So these are called seasonal. All right, so polycarpic is again perennial and seasonal. So perennial, there are some flowers which which bear flowers throughout the year, like hibiscus is the simplest example because it is present at our home as well, isn't it? We see this, that in 12 months they bear flower. That's why the simplest example I mentioned here is hibiscus. Then second in seasonal is mango, jackfruit, orange. These are seasonal. All right, so I hope this is clear to you, the reproductive phase in plants. Now let us see the reproductive phase in animals. Okay, now let us try to understand reproductive phase in animals. In animals, what happened? As we can see that different animals reproduce in different period of time, right? There is a certain period of time for animals. Some, they can reproduce throughout the year and some are seasonal. So based on that, the breeding, okay, is your continuous and seasonal breeders. Now who are this continuous breeder and who are the seasonal breeders? So before coming to this, let us see animals. See, animals, if I say mammals, mammals are either primates or non-primates. Primates are monkey, human being, chimpanzees, this comes under primates, and other animals like cat, dog, cow, this all comes under non-primates. Okay. Now here what happened during reproductive phase, so many changes takes place. It occurs in both male and female. Reproductive organs develop, sex hormones form, gametes are formed, and all they plays an important role in reproductive phase. After this only an organism or a female organism are capable of reproducing. Now what happened in primates? Here menstrual cycle takes place, and here estrus cycle takes place. So both are types of cycle, okay, and both leads to the reproduction, but they are different from each other. In menstrual cycle what happen? Bleeding takes place, okay, and that bleeding is your occurs due to endometrial lining, endometrial, okay, endometrial lining shades. Here what happened? Endometrial lining shades, which we call bleeding, right? And here endometrial lining does not shades. It means no bleeding takes place in non-primates, and therefore what happened? They absorb it, okay? They absorb in the body, and this menstrual cycle, when it reaches to certain age, it stops, which is also called as menopause. So we will discuss in later on, okay? And this estrus cycle in non-primates, it continues throughout their life. All right, I hope this is clear. All right, now come to the continuous and seasonal breeders. As I told you that some organisms can reproduce throughout the year. Say for an example, human being. In human being what happened? The females every month, okay, from January to December, there are 12 months, and in 12 months they can reproduce at any time. They can conceive at any time, right? So what happened? Every month they shed the endometrial lining sheet, okay? So here what happened? Every month they are capable, okay, of reproducing, or they are capable of fertilization. But there are some organisms which can reproduce only in a particular season, like dog, okay. There is a season where they can, or they allow for mating, okay. So they are called your seasonal breeders. Am I clear? So we can say that primates, okay, or you can say the menstrual cycle, those organisms which have menstrual cycle, or the primates, are continuous breeder. And on the other hand, the non-primates which have estrus cycle, they are seasonal breeder. So what happen in estrus cycle? They have a certain period, like say for summer, okay, during the summer they allow for breeding, okay, they breed in the month of June, July, August, in summer. Some organism they breed in winter, okay. So that is a heat period for them where they can breed, okay. So they are seasonal. The way there are some seasonal fruits like mango, jackfruit, they are seasonal. In case of animals, estrus cycle occurs in non-primates, and that is seasonal. Am I clear? So they are called seasonal breeders. So this is all about your reproductive phase in animals. So animals, they are divided into two, primates and non-primates. Primates are like human being, chimpanzee, monkeys comes under primates, and non-primates are your non-primates are your cat, dog, cow. And primates, they have a cyclic change, that is called your menstrual cycle, and in non-primates the cyclic change is your estrus cycle. In menstrual cycle, these primates, okay, like human being, I gave an example, they can conceive in any month of the or any time of the year, right? And in non-primates, what happened, they have a certain period, okay. Again, this estrous cycle is again further divided, okay. So that is not required now, so I am not discussing. So you just remember the non-primates, what is present, estrous cycle, and in primates it is menstrual cycle. So here bleeding takes place, endometrial lining shed, here bleeding does not takes place and no endometrial lining sheds, they absorb it, all right. And based on this, when they can breed, they are called your continuous breeder and seasonal breeder. So continuous breeder are those who can breed any time of the year, okay. And and seasonal breeders are those who have a particular period, a season where they allow for mating, where they breeds in a particular season, so they are called your seasonal breeders. All right, I hope this is clear to you. So here one thing I had mentioned is about hormones, right? So I told you that during reproductive phase, what happened, the hormones are produced, right? So if I say in case of human being, this hormones, it plays very important role in the reproductive phase, how they are related. So when they are at maturity stage, that is called your reproductive stage, they produce hormones. So many, because of this hormone, so many changes takes place, and that hormones leads to the uh, formation of gamete. Then reproductive organ develops in both male and female, all right. And the voice changes in male. If I say for an example, for an human being, what happened, male produce testosterone hormone, okay, and in female it is estrogen. So female produce estrogen and male produce testosterone, and this hormone plays important role. So when they are capable of producing, when they produce this testosterone, this leads to the reproductive stage. That is when an female can conceive. Now they are ready to reproduce, okay. Similarly, in plants, how do we know that they have reached the reproductive stage? So when they bear flowers, okay, when they bear fruits, so there we can say that this plant has reached reproductive stage. Suppose if a plant is non-flowering plants, then they will produce cone, okay. So when they bear cone, it means that they have reached to their reproductive stage. And in human beings, in animals, what happen, they reproduce, they produce testosterone and hormone, okay, that leads to the development of a reproductive organ, okay, where gamete formation takes place, all right. A cyclic change is seen in them, and at the end the fusion of gamete takes place and they give rise to their individual ones. So dear students, I hope that you are clear with this, what is reproductive phase in human. So in my next class, I shall be starting your different events of sexual reproduction. Okay, so in sexual reproduction, there are three events, that is your pre-fertilization, then fertilization and post-fertilization. What happens before fertilization, during fertilization and after fertilization. So this is all what we are going to discuss in our next class. Till then, you watch this video, make notes on this, and if you find any difficulty, then do ask me, okay. So I'll see you in my next class. Till then, bye bye.